Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So the other day I put out a video stating that we don't need a stock market. Well, since putting out that video, I realized this should be a grassroots movement among progressives. And honestly, libertarians should be on board with this. Capitalists, small businesses, and so forth should be on board with this, because this is something that makes sense. To convert all stocks into bonds. Every depression, every every depression, every recession, in every economic downturn for the last 150 years at least of U.S. history has been caused by the stock market. People look back to 1929, they talk about the Dust Bowl. The Dust Bowl didn't happen until after the stock market crash had already occurred. But yeah, the Dust Bowl was somewhat related to stocks because of the commodities, the futures markets, which I've talked about before with precious metals. The futures market is basically nothing but gambling, and yet it is also used to fix prices on commodities such as food, to fix prices upward so that they don't come down. If you have an oversupply, how far does the price go down? Look what happened last year with the oil glut. How far did the price of gasoline go down? Yes, it went down, but then it was forced back up by reducing production. Not because of a lack of supply, but because the oil companies wanted to drive it back up. We look at what has happened with bailouts, quantitative easing, tax cuts for the rich and corporations. And what did they use that money for? To buy back their own stocks and drive up the price. Well, if everything is converted to bonds, they can't do that with bonds. If a company can't buy back their own bonds, a bond is a loan, it's a debt. When you buy a bond, that means that company owes you money. When you buy a stock, you're gambling. You're gambling that it's going to increase in value. And how do stocks increase in value? By either increasing profits, which is not happening and has not happened for decades now, or by cutting costs. Cutting costs means reducing benefits for employees, for workers, laying off workers, increasing productivity. Productivity means if productivity increases by 100%, that means that one person is now doing the work of two people. The more you add automation, the more you increase productivity. But if your sales don't increase by the same amount, that one person is doing the work of two people. Have sales increased by 100%? No, that means they get to lay off one worker and keep the profits from what they were paying that worker before. This is how the stock market works. And this is what we need to change. This needs to be a massive grassroots movement. Basically, we should consider the stock market to be a terrorist organization. The stock market causes mass layoffs, taking away benefits, reduction of workers' rights to unionize, to negotiate. They cause hunger, homelessness, poverty. These things are all forms of torture. When you look at it clearly, these are forms of torture. These are forms of terror that are inflicted upon the American people. So yeah, companies might move their investments over to other countries, but other countries would take a look at this and follow suit at some point. So this is something we really need to turn into a grassroots massive movement. We need to talk about this. We need to push this idea. Even if the idea, as I am presenting it, doesn't happen, it raises awareness that this is a possibility, that we can convert our economy. All of these wild fluctuations, the volatility that we hear about the stock market, on a day-to-day basis, that would cease to exist. The bond market doesn't fluctuate like that. And if, companies want to play around with the bond market, there's only so much that they can do, and more legislation can be passed to control it even further. If a company issues, if they issue a stock, they're literally issuing a certificate. They're selling off part of the company for money. But then they expect to make money after the stock is sold as well. So they sell it off, they make money. They buy it back, they make money. Where's all the money coming from? It's coming from you. It's coming out of your pocket. It's coming from your low wages. It's coming from you doing the work of two people. It's coming from you losing your insurance. It's coming from you working multiple jobs. Yes, this is terrorism. So, all of this, the results of their actions lead to anxiety, high blood pressure, depression, suicide, drug dependency. No other country has the rate of drug addiction that the United States does. The United States accounts for 5% of the world population, and yet we consume 80% of the world's opiates. Low wages in and of themselves, enforced by corporations, lead to what? More stress, poor diet, poor development in children, poor education, poor literacy, anxiety, stress, hypertension, diabetes, weight problems, and those lead to orthopedic problems, knees, hips, cardiac issues. If this were enforced upon us by some foreign enemy, then we would be fighting back against it. And yet we have accepted this for over a century, well over a century. It's time for us to change it. And only the American people, the people, can change it. It's not going to be changed by, corporate owners that donate to, elected officials and the officials that are indebted to them. This has to be a grassroots movement that rises to a crescendo. So I am issuing a challenge to all progressive media sources to forward this idea, to put this out there. If we at least discuss it, what have we got to lose? If we don't discuss it, then we have everything to lose. It's just going to continue being this way. So let's change it. All right? Share this video. Talk about these subjects widely. I mean it this time. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. So, if you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. I want to give a shout out to Jesse Russell, who donated the other day. Thank you very much. That every penny helps. So, again, talk about this. This is a concept that we need to forward. If we want to take power back from the corporations, this is one method by which we can actually do this. All right? Thank you very much. I will catch you in the next video.